So I'm a physicist and a PhD student at Johns Hopkins University, and here are 3 rules that I use when incorporating figures into my PowerPoint presentations. 1, I always make sure that I explain what figures actually are as they show up in the slides. If I don't plan on explicitly telling people what the figure is, I take it out of the slide. If it's not absolutely necessary to have as part of my explanation of what I do, I take it out of the slide. The second rule is that I make sure all of my axes, like my legend, my axes labels, my tick marks, any text that shows up in any figure, whether it's a plot or a flowchart or a table of some kind, I make sure the font size is big enough for people to see and the color is dark enough for people to see if it's a light background or light enough for people to see if it's a dark background. Essentially, everything needs to be legible for someone who has terrible vision in the audience. 3, I make sure I always say when displaying plots, the x-axis is blah, blah, blah. The y-axis is blah, blah, blah. Maybe if it's necessary, the z-axis is blah, blah, blah. And then the color bar shows blah, 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 which ranges from blah to blah. And then if there's a legend or various curves, then that's when I say the red curve indicates blah, the blue curve indicates blah. You have to literally say every single thing that appears on the plot. Always do the x-axis first, y-axis second. If there's a z-axis, do that third, then do the color bar, then do the legend. In that order, it helps people's brain cooperate with absorbing the information you're giving them, because when we're little kids, we traditionally learn the x-axis first when we learn to count, and then we start doing algebra and we learn that there can be a y-axis. So that's the second thing that we learn. So it's the second thing you mention to people.